Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Gamer Guide channel, and in this episode we're going to be talking a little bit about some of the new changes coming out to Robocraft on the 28th of June 2016. I am finally kind of getting over my congestion cold a little bit, so if I sound a little different, I'm still kind of getting over the remnants of it, but bear with me. I'm also going to show off this Warstorm new hovercraft I put together in Robocraft to help level out my Gamer Guide account. Of course, I'm level 150 and P5 on the Rollin account, and I just wanted to match levels at least here on the Gamer Guide account. So anyway, we'll take this out and show off this a little bit, but first things first, let's talk about some of the changes here in Robocraft. As you guys are probably aware of from watching the Awesome Souls videos or reading some of the news articles, we're going to be getting some changes next week, and they're going to be changing up the way that we monetize and buy and get our parts. It's going to be turning Robo Points into Robo Bits, and basically you're going to be crafting things now with those Robo Bits you get from each of the matches, and it's going to be rated on performance and stuff too. The way you'll get new parts will be through drops, and you'll be getting chests at the end of the match with some of these drops, and even the things that used to be GC only will be included in it, so they're opening it up to all the parts, including all the different flags and cosmetics and stuff like that. So I think that is pretty cool, actually. Of course, when the patch came out, it was such a big change, and people didn't get the full concept right away. Everybody kind of freaked out. I even freaked out a little bit when I saw the first news article, but since then I've had a little time to look at it and kind of analyze and take it in, and I think it's going to be interesting and probably fun change in Robocraft too. You'll still be able to make the parts you need, so like if you get a gun, you'll be able to have that unlocked and use your Robo Bits to craft more of those style of guns. That being said though, I do have some advice for you guys here. I think you should buy up the lower tier guns now before the new patch. And the reason I say that is I don't think the price can go down any, and if anything, to balance things, they're going to put the price at an increased rate, because the guns have actually on the low side become very good. So for example, the Laser Wasp is going to be getting an enormous buff and basically doing 5,317 damage times 16 per second, so it becomes like 86,000 something. I did the math earlier, but it was crazy damage per second. So they're pretty much equivalent across the board in all your different guns. The bigger guns now are going to be better for long range, and the shorter guns are going to be good for being up close and personal with an enemy. So if you guys wanted to make some money, I feel like if you buy the lower level stuff, so that means like the Laser Wasp, the Plasma Pulsar, Rail Piercer, and Nano Binder, if you get those things, I think you can only make money. You're not going to lose money. Definitely, because I don't think the prices are going to go down. I think in RoboBits they'll be increased. So they're changing that currency over, and I'm sure they're not going to publicize that, but if I were you, I would be picking up the lower end spectrum of all the weapons in quantities that you think you might use in the future, and maybe some extras to sell too. So anyway, I have been enjoying the new update that we got, I guess, what has it been, 2 weeks now, with the Ion Blaster and the stealth parts. I do feel like the Ghost module is maybe a little bit overrated, as I'm able to see enemies coming up on me pretty easily in the Ghost module if I'm looking around, and I'm pretty observant and have a reasonable sized monitor with reasonable resolution, and I think most people do too. It is good if you have a fast vehicle, I guess, in some ways, but I went ahead on this one and it bypassed that entire idea and just put on some radar jammers, because I think hiding around a rock with some radar jammers is probably better than trying to be stealthy up on someone and losing half your power. But as you see here on my little vehicle, I put on 2 of those ion disruptors, and I'm really enjoying that. And then I prism plated the heck out of it and added on some 2 thrusters on the back. Didn't go too crazy, but I did want to put a couple of nano constructors on the back of it and some SMGs on top and front. And I would go ahead and put this up on the shop for you all too, but it's just the shop is going to be changing up, and I'm not sure if they're going to be keeping that entire thing. And I know they're getting rid of buying parts basically through the shop, but they might be doing something like a blueprint, which was kind of speculated too by another YouTuber. And so I think, I mean, that could be very plausible, and doing blueprints and basically using your own parts to switch things out would be pretty interesting. So I might put this back up on the shop here soon, but I probably will be doing build tutorials and stuff like that going forward. If the shop is going to be removed, you'll probably see more of the build tutorials from me instead of less of them, and doing more stuff on the shop. So we'll see how that kind of changes up things. So let's talk a little bit about like specific parts, what I think is really going to be a hot commodity after the Thursday patch. I really like the not only the laser wasp for its total damage output, because it's not going to miss necessarily 5.75% of the time. Like it says, it has a max spread degrees of 5.75, but if you're up on somebody close enough, even that spread will hit them, so it could be a good close range weapon. I also really like the stats on the Tesla slicer. So if you guys are thinking about being a Tesla vehicle, that uses 0% power and does 300,000 damage. So, you know, you could put 9 of them on and you have 900,000 output instead of using one of the Tesla Novas, the higher end one, and doing 776, 250 all at once, but then losing all your power immediately. So I would definitely recommend picking up some Tesla slicers, the lower end one. The nano binders, also a very good investment, as that's going to be like 58,050 damage. So that will be really nice to have. That also uses 0% power. So if you're using, like, say, the Plasma Goliath, the biggest plasma that uses up a bunch of your power but does huge damage, which I probably will be continuing to use, then basically when you're getting your energy back, you can be using your heal guns like the nano binder and not wasting any of your power on it, or, you know, have your Teslas open and hitting people while you're getting your power back. So some of these weapons are going to be kind of essential, I think, in a build in the future where you kind of do your power management. So you're going to use a real heavy weapon to deal the damage quickly, and then while you're recouping, you know, get into your nano binder to heal up your allies, or use your Tesla slicer to knock down some nearby enemies if you're going to be a full combatant. So it depends on where you plan to station yourself and stuff, but definitely something to pick up, I think. So that's my advice to you guys. Go out to the shop, pick up some of those lower end weapons, as I don't think you can possibly lose money, or robo-bits as it's going to be called next week. You can only gain them. So let's talk a little bit more about the other patch notes that came out earlier in the week. You know, they started with the issue 16, which talked about some of the things they're going to be getting rid of. So the Robo Shop, or, you know, Cube Depot, that's going to be out the door, and they're going to be, instead, you're going to be crafting parts based off how you did in the game. You'll be picking up different parts that you can recycle into whatever you want to build with. So it's not going to be like you have to, you know, use the stuff that you've been given in the drop chest at the end of the matches. You're going to be able to craft that material into anything you need that you've already acquired. So it should be interesting. Now, I think the objective of the patch is, you know, they want people to play longer and be more engaged, and so the kind of excitement of picking up these random loots or random chests and stuff and getting some various stuff based on performance and also based on your level and stuff like that, I think they are kind of calculating that's going to keep people engaged longer. And I'm sure it will, and I'm sure the progress will be slowed down a little bit in this new system. But if you're a Robocraft player right now, I don't think there's any reason to kind of dread the upcoming changes. I think it's going to be fun, and it will just be a little different, and there'll probably be a little bit of getting used to it. But you'll still be able to build any kind of robot you want to as soon as you've acquired the parts on your account. So if you're, you know, level 103 to level 150 and you've already unlocked all your stuff, there's not really going to be any major changes for you, because you're going to be able to use those robo-bits to craft whatever you need, and you're just going to basically get a little bit better rewarded if you do well in a match at the end of it. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be interesting to see how this changes the dynamic of the game. Honestly, when I first saw the patch notes come out, I was a little hesitant, and I kind of got the wrong impression too from that first patch note, just talking about the major things they're going to be getting rid of and the changes and stuff like that. But then on the second note, I saw, you know, hey, they're still going to have this recycling, and you're still going to be able to, you know, go in and build the things you want. So I kind of calmed down a little bit. I thought about it. I looked at some of the changes in the weapons and thought about the flattening they've been talking about for a while, and it's going to be okay, so don't freak out. That's basically the message I'm giving you guys. If you've been freaking out about Robocraft and the patch next week, I wouldn't freak out about it, but if I were you, I would definitely do your due diligence, go to the market, pick up some of those lower tier guns, pick up the Laser Wasp, pick up the lower end Nano, because, you know, Nano Binders and Laser Wasps and Teslas, you could pretty much, if you have the spare CPU, put those on any kind of vehicle. So definitely do that, guys. Anyway, this has just been a little chat. I didn't want to get too fancy here with the editing or anything. It's just me talking over this game. If you guys are new here to the channel, I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe, as I do these Robocraft kind of videos pretty often, and occasionally some other style of games as well. I also saw some new games out there on the horizon look kind of fun. Lathrix the other day was playing one that I liked. I think it was called Crossout, and I might be trying that myself too. Anyway, guys, thumbs up on the video. Let me know down in the comments what you think of the upcoming changes, if you're looking forward to it or you're dreading it, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Later.